Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Satish here from Pragyan AI. I'm explaining about AI diagnosis platform, what we are trying to build. The main reason for this is actually twofold. First thing is actually like AI-based diagnosis is very essential. They solve the issue of imbalance of the ratio of doctor to the patients. And because India has huge population, very few skilled resources are there, and those skilled resources are there in the metros, not in the remote areas. So to do those kind of diagnosis, understand the radiology images and do diagnosis is very rare for the rural people. And also like during the pandemic, the stress on the doctors will be more. Because of that, so many AI solutions are developed for which diagnose the risk of a certain kind of disease actually. And maybe they used in twofold. One fold is actually just to sort out the images which based on the risk, so that like unrisked thing cannot be looked into. Only the risk images or like X-ray images will be looked at by the doctor, so that like they can utilize the doctor more effectively. This is one way of one kind of solutions are there using AI. The second thing is actually the other part which is not yet addressed actually is all these models are black box for the doctors. Doctors wanted to know more why these AI models saying whether it is a COVID patient or non-COVID or whatever it may be, but like they need more and more information how these decisions are taken. So that is they are lacking. And the second thing they are lacking is actually like all these models, how good their models is actually based on how much data they have. And most of these current AI models are model driven solutions, not a data driven. Actually, like AI models will be the accuracy of AI models depends on the data validity and also how labeling of those data. So these are the two concerns are there. So means like if I have to say in a single line, AI solutions has three components. One component is the domain expertise that doctors and hospitals has. Second component is the data, and the third component is the AI expertise to build. But right now is what is happening is most of the engineers coming up AI solutions, they don't have that much in-depth knowledge of the medical domain, and they don't have exposure to the doctor. And all these models are one time they are building, and but AI has to keep on getting exposed to new data to get improved over a period of time. So what we are coming up is actually we are coming up a solution. Instead of building an AI solution and selling to hospital, so why can't we do a joint kind of collaboration with the hospital, because they bring two important components to the platform. With AI expertise, we can build a model. So the business model is it is about AI diagnosis platform, but it will be joint venture with the hospitals and the doctors. And to elaborate more about the same problem, what I said is actually like if the more data, relevant data or unbiased data, if data is more biased, the models won't be good. And another thing, what I was saying is actually, if the data is imbalanced, then the accuracy also will not be the good. And and if the data set is more and more, computations will be increasing. So these are some of the key concerns what I told you actually. So the solution side, the solutions what we are trying to do is actually first we wanted to build a solution in along with the hospitals who are specialized in specific field. Like for example, if I have to build a fraction kind of detection, so I will be working with the hospitals who are known for specialized for those kind of things, because we will build a solution along with them, and based on their requirement or like the refined requirements, or like the where they wanted to use this AI to support or like complement their diagnosis. So this is the thing which we are trying to do. And right now, like we wanted to focus on four areas. One is about bone fracture, Second one is a brain anomaly. Third one is a just X-ray based anomaly, and then retina based and heart anomaly. So these are the things which we are trying to build. So the solution looks like it is a SaaS platform. It will be web application based solution, and it will be white labeled so that hospitals can brand their own solution, and they can have their own specific requirements. They can fine tune or enhance the or like ask something specific for their own hospitals, or maybe customize the solutions, and they can label their solution as their own lab solution, and they can sell that further. Actually, that is one way is actually on premises we can install, or it can be installed in the cloud and it can be customized. So there is a proposals what we have. And the market opportunity, as you know, that actually like diagnosis market is very big and it is growing fast. And and so if you see this is the research by healthcare research companies. So by 2030 it will be 3.6 billion, and its growth rate is very huge actually. And to justify this model, what I said actually, like any diagnosis models, when you are trying to build a hospital, it has three components. One is the data, another is expertise or something. So why we come up this kind of model is because since we are expertised in AI, and we have built some basic models for diagnosing X-ray, MRI and something. But what we still feel is actually like these models has to be validated and refined in along with the specialist hospitals, and getting the data from those hospitals. It's like there is two more components which we are lacking to make these models more accurate and better diagnosis models. We need two more components. One is the data and the doctors. So that is because of these two components is very difficult to get into. So we thought actually, why can't, instead of building a solution and selling to the hospitals, like why can't we join hand with them and build a solutions which beneficial for both. So it's like they will bring in some portion and we bring in our expertise, and then jointly we can build it. Actually, then we can after it is evaluated or like validated, clinically validated and got the FDA approval, can sell together jointly. So the business model innovations what we did is actually, instead of going for building a solution and selling to hospitals, like jointly own the solutions. The value additions USP is actually like doctors gives the inputs about how the diagnosis is happening and whether it is happening and right or wrong, and we will be looping that feedback and into the model, and then model keep improving. And not only the diagnosis, but like any additional things where exactly this AI model can some kind of a complement the diagnosis or doctor's skill set actually. Apart from that, like what we are also thinking about is actually automated reports, because if there is a risk kind of things, if there is no risk in the like diagnosis is actually there is no risk actually automatically generating. If there is a risk, then maybe the doctor can see and generate a report. And another thing is what we are trying to innovate over there is actually like adding the explainability, so that like doctor can also understand and see that actually whether this is correct or not. And if it is not correct, then he can give the rewrite the label, and that rewrite information will be reused in the model to further enhance the model. So one advantage actually, models will keep on improving over a period of time. And second thing, actually, it is doctors only since validated and knows that they have trust actually, then the scalability of these solutions will be much more easier, because it is backed by the hospitals and it is jointly owned. That is the thing we are looking into. And the benefits for the hospitals or doctors associated, one thing actually like most of the thing is instead of buying the solution from the third party, so it is their own solution, jointly own solution. It also generates a revenue for them. They can sell to other hospitals. That is the one kind of beneficial. Second thing, actually, like they know the domain very well, and they can dictate what kind of enhancements they're necessary. So the solutions keep on building over a period of time. And then for the customers, it is easily available and scalable, and anytime, any locations, you can, anywhere you can, they see the diagnosis sign, they can upload and they can view the images. So it enhances, because finally the solution will be integrated with the pack images, actually image directory, or EHR of the what is called hospital or diagnosis center, so that like no need to do anything. Like, so image will be automatically uploaded and evaluated and diagnosed, and reports will be available. It's like you can upload image from any place and you can get diagnosed report from any place, actually. And it is use as you pay as use, actually. So it will be much more easier for them. And this solution, since it is a custom labeled, so they can also generate a revenue. So current stage, so for like we have all these basic POC for X-ray based and CT scan based AI models, actually, which can detect, diagnose or classify around 14, 15 diseases, including lung cancer, TB, pneumonia, and COVID. So this is the models we already have with a better accuracy, about 90%, actually 95% accuracy we have. And brain tumor detection, Alzheimer's disease models also, POCs also we have. Bone fracture POCs also happens, like for various kind of X-ray images, like finger, wrist, elbow, all those like fracture detection and identification models we already have. And 40 plus retina based anomaly detection models also we have. And heart anomaly detection using ultrasound images also there, ECG waveforms also there, and using the digital support sound also there, like so on. So these are all models are developed. And apart from that, like all these models are added explainability into these models, actually, so that like doctors can understand why these diagnoses are done, those things are done. But what is not yet done is actually integrating with the pack, integrating with the EHR, integrate and deploying into the cloud, and building the feedback loop. Like means like after diagnosing, the doctor can see it and they can verify or maybe rewrite the thing, what is the wrong or right or something. So means like if it is right, it is fine. If it is not right, then he can say that like what is a true, truly means like what is it, disease image or non-disease image, or like the diagnosis, he can write it with the proper label and it can be used for further training. So that portion is not there. And another thing which is not there is actually how to do the white labeling and sell that, actually. Some of the small models are not yet done. So, and this can be because we are not developed that, because that needs to be we need to have a connection with the hospitals to do those kind of things. And also another thing which we already developed is actually image enhancement, image processing, so raw image processing and other things. So those models also there, need to be integrated, because all these models are separate. And how to club these models and how should the UI display, those things needs to be done. Like things like final dashboards for the doctor, hospitals, patients, and integration of UI UX, and the report generation. These are the small models like need to be developed, actually. So, but core AI models are already done. So core AI models are already done. Need to be validated with the real data set. And that we said. So the time frame for to develop is actually we need around 3 months for building the basic model things using the real data. So enhancing those models, and another 2 more months, means like around 5 months we needed from day one, from for building in a SaaS software with a dashboard, proper dashboard for hospitals, proper dashboard for patients, and dashboards to evaluate and give the feedback or further labeling, or like saying whether it is a digital diagnosis right or not, and then how to take it back. So it's like whole the process, like so image onloading, and then diagnosing, and then verified by the hospital doctors or specialists, and then feed, if it is correct, then generating report, and then downloading. It's like so whole that flow and the UI UX and then deployment, that has to be done. Actually, it will take around 5 months actually. So back and EHR integration, it will take another 3 more months actually. It's like by 8 months actually. Then supporting all medical devices. Like right now, like all these is done by one kind of device. So means like this model has to work with all different kind of devices. Like so means like we need to build a interface, like so image enhancement and processing kind of models, the specific for such specific device, depending on how what format they are generating. But right now we would take DICOM kind of format and NI format, but we need to support all other formats. So that will take some more time. So it's like if you see that like web development, mostly web development, interface to PAC and AHR, and multiple device supports, that is all necessary. And we need to validate, we have to validate these models, clinical validation of these models is necessary. So initially, like we will be working with 1 or 2 hospitals. So one hospital for X-ray kind of thing, one hospital maybe for health related thing, one hospital we can look for the bone fracture or retina things, like one retina kind of hospital, one what is called radiology kind of hospital for X-ray and brain thing, and fraction is one, and heart is one. So only one hospital we wanted to work with and enhance the model. And then when this is proven with few hospitals, then we can look for this very specific, because we are not building only simple solutions. We are keen to build any solutions specific to like things, like any specific hospitals. Like if it is a cancer specific hospital, then we work with and we'll jointly build a solution. But right now we are only focusing on those key models like what I explained. And ask for this whole development, actually it will take around 1 year to develop. Actually it was like develop and deploy, and it will take around 7 lakhs to implement. And so how we are trying to enter, since like this model itself is like we have to engage with the hospitals. So we'll be closely working with the hospitals and onboarding the hospitals, and it is solutions are jointly owned by hospital and the Pragyan AI. So thing is like already we some extent we already entered, and it is a joint responsibility to take it to the next level. Since like one hospital is using and showing the good result, then selling to the other hospital much more easier thing. And second thing is actually like we also wanted to work with the hospitals and NGOs to provide these solutions for me, because one is actually some hospitals are keen to jointly own, but like other thing is actually some hospitals say that like I don't want to jointly develop, but like I just wanted to use. So freemium model we are trying to offer them, so that like they initially they will use it freely, and after certain number of uses they have to pay, so they start paying the using these tools actually. And why what is the USP if you wanted to see? So we are expertise in the AI, and we have resources, because we train the resources and all those things. Like the availability of resources will be much more cheaper compared to the other players who wanted to develop. And since we bring that expertise, and since hospitals bring the other expertise, so collectively if you look at actually like competitively relevant portions, like so three components, so data expertise, domain expertise, and AI expertise, if you think it actually, and the solution will be much more relevant for the hospital, because the relevancy comes from the hospital, and the expertise come from, it's like, so if you look overall, it will be much more better synergy kind of things, and better USP compared to the other existing solutions, like the solutions like standalone kind of solutions, as like technology companies are building solution and selling to the hospital. Compared to that, this is advantage. And what do we say, and the revenue revenue model, what we said actually, like, so one thing is actually the hospital jointly working with us will be getting it free. So they will be paying only for the services, some enhancement or maintenance, because that costs to us actually. So maintaining there, but like it's like there we will be generating the service revenue, and this solution used by the third party, they will be paying for users actually. So there's two revenue models we have. And the team, so myself, Satish, like I have around 18 years of experience after my master's from NITK. Now I'm doing PhD in NITK in AI. So I worked in companies like Intel, Philips, Samsung thing, and I also train a lot of people in data science and AI, especially deep learning thing. And Shukmar brings about the cloud specialist. He's a cloud expert with a mobile app and Docker and Kubernetes. He knows how to deploy the solution. And Rasmi is working like, so is doing research in Alzheimer kind of disease, actually diagnosis using AI. Vijay Lakshmi is doing research in retina based disease diagnosis. Sangesh is working on X-ray based disease diagnosis. So if you see here, actually, like we have not only we have POCs, but we also doing deeper research in that, in those specific areas. Like one person is doing an X-ray, another person is doing a retina, another person is doing an Alzheimer, and I am doing in the heart related ultrasound, ECG and sound thing. So we have written to several research paper also, and we are also filing some patents in that. And our advisory board, technical advisory board, actually Annappa sir, NITK professor, he is having a 20 plus year experience. Shamlal is also 12 plus experience. He is expertise in AI and medical. And also Shashidhar Kuladi, he is expertise in NLP and deep learning. So, and we are also looking for adding some more healthcare advisor. Like there are some hospital doctors we are consulting, but not at grade. So we will keep adding it. So, so if you see the final, what kind of supports we are looking from the this program is actually like, one is the funding, second one is a connect with the hospitals, because our whole model is joint owned with the hospital. So we need to have a connection with the hospitals, so we can pitch the solutions, and then we'll start building the joint solutions actually. So connect with the hospital is the two ask. One is the funding, another is a connect with the hospital. Funding is okay, but the connect with the hospital is more essential actually, that we are looking for. Thank you.